tested. And let's see if it's, yep, it's working. Okay, so 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm John Miglosh for the WDMA. We're going to talk about testing today and some other stuff. Well, let's start off with Tom Fishburne. Okay, so today's cartoon, the AI pivot. How's the pivot going from Web 3 to AI? Oops, I'm sorry. How's the pivot from Web 3 to AI going? Now, I wasn't exactly sure what this was about. I thought this might be, the copywriter or the web designer was locked in a collar that would electrocute him if he if he tried to write as a human instead of an AI bot. So it was basically this configuration of human and robot, because he doesn't really look right. He's got some, but it turns out if you read down the article, it's a whiplash illustration, and this is pain and this is pain. But I thought maybe it was some kind of robotization of creative people. Okay, what a difference a year or even a few months makes. Just last January, this is Tom speaking, I drew a cartoon showing a couple marketers as legless avatars. They're down here, standing in a virtual world under a banner that reads, "Welcome to our brand experience in the metaverse." One is saying to the other, "I'm sure the consumers will show up any minute now." And that's down here a little farther. There it is. I'm sure the consumer... I did really like that one. That one was a humdinger. Okay, anyway. The breathless excitement around things Web 3. From NFTs to crypto blockchain to the metaverse is quieter now. But the regenerative AI hype train is full steam ahead. Regenerative AI. And I'm not sure what that means. From startups to marketers at large CPG, consumer product goods companies, to VC, the pivot to AI is whiplash inducing. So that's where the cartoon comes from. Even compared to the last few whiplash years. That's why one of the things I like about Tom Fishburne is his cartoons his explanation of his cartoons is as good or better than his cartoons. I think so. Anyway, as Y Combinator alum Aaron Harris observed, we're seeing billion-dollar valuations for companies peddling products based on regenerative artificial intelligence algorithms with less than $1 million in revenue and no proven business model. Just shows you how eager we are to invest in something exciting and interesting. Not long ago, the same behavior was held up as a cautionary tale about the excesses of VC over Web 3. Now we have a whole new era of exuberance on our hands. But AI and Web 3 are ultimately both tools, not a replacement for our strategy. Last week's ANA media conference, someone asked P&G, Procter & Gamble CMO Mark Pritchard, who I think connected with me finally, how marketers should think about AI when figuring out what's hype and what's substantive. I like his response. I don't talk about the algorithms, don't talk about the technology, don't talk about AI, talk about the outcome you want. What are we trying to achieve? Absolutely right. And here are a few related cartoons. We already covered that one. Metaverse hype cycle. This could be cool. I don't understand any of it, but it will change the world and also make us rich. Why isn't anyone buying our NFTs? We've invested so much already, we might as well keep going. Do we have to have this meeting in the metaverse? Yes. I don't remember even seeing that one. And then this one's famous. We need to stay focused on our marketing priorities and not get distracted by every shiny new, look, a squirrel. That's my very favorite. You can put that in the list every time. And here's the AI tidal wave, but somehow that one didn't reproduce. So anyway, all was good for a laugh. Tom, thank you for your insights. Now let's get over to this one. This one I found as a post on LinkedIn. It's a little harder to read. So there's no stronger argument. It says loyalty. This was interesting. Loyalty doesn't build brands. What's more loyal than addiction? And when I got started in direct marketing, we used to joke about, what we wanted was a relatively low priced, high margin, addictive product. That was the best thing we could get from direct marketing, so that the customers would rebuy every day and keep buying and buying and buying. Oh, hi, David. I see David Foley's on here. I'm going to talk about David in just a second, so just hang on with me, David. Okay, there's no stronger argument for the case of loyalty than those that are physiologically addictive, the ideal product. No, that may remind you of cannabis also. No stronger example than cigarettes, or cannabis, perhaps. And we're not going to get into why, I know. Nicotine is a drug that hooks people for decades, killing millions who just can't drop the habit. The first point is the purchase pattern of those who buy cigarettes, the most addictive legal substance on the market, as demonstrated by using the example below from John Dawes at Ehrenberg Bass Institute. Okay, so here's the graph from Aaron Bass, and it shows the number of packets purchased. So we're going to make some categorical groupings. So households that purchase 1 to 10 packets of cigarettes per year, and then those that purchase 41 to 50, and it goes all the way up to about 300. Okay, these are about 300. And guess what? It looks a lot like my frequency graph of a couple of days ago, where I showed you that the customers that buy often, these customers, all the way down here, always, really to here, this is like a flat line to nothing. Okay, those customers are always few and far between, and the digital and the modeling, what happened to machine learning excitement, but all of that hype was all about how we'll take your best customers and we'll do lookalike modeling, and then we'll predict where those are, and guess what happens? It evaporates. You build a model that selects like 3 people, and doesn't even make sense. Like for In Fisherman, we did a model. We started by doing a lookalike, trying to predict the best. Well, we wanted to do an overlay for prospecting, so we said, well, what's the best zip code in America after they'd mailed, I don't remember what their average drop was, a couple of million pieces. Let's say 2 million pieces. And what we found was that out of 2 million pieces, even 2 million pieces, you could mail the 50,000 zip codes. Out of that, only about 20,000 got even 1 piece of mail. Okay. And out of that 50,000 zip codes that you did, out of that 20,000 that you actually mailed something into, only about 2,000 had any orders whatsoever. But if you looked at the number one, and this was for Walleye Insider, in case you don't believe me. If you, I gotta get Chris on here. Chris is retired now, so I don't know if I can get it. Chris Dieter, and she worked with us at In Fisherman. Yes, and lest you think this is just fooling around, I got a call one day from McKinsey and Company, and Prime Media had bought In Fisherman. And so, and Prime Media had hired McKinsey to go around and see if any of these publications, they bought like 800 publications, did any of them know anything about their customers? And the only one they found, they called me up and they told me this, they said the only one we found is In Fisherman. They can answer all our questions about customers and profiling and what they're like and everything. And we said, how is somebody in Brainerd, Minnesota know anything about customers? All the real publishers are in New York City, but these are out in the middle of nowhere in Minnesota. And they said, well, there's this guy. So anyway, they called me and they told me the story. And anyway, but back to the point. So we looked up the number one zip code in America from this mailing, And we found out that one zip code had been mailed mailed one mailing piece, and it generated 2 subscriptions. A 200% response. Can you believe it? Who says you can't get 200% response with direct mail? Anyway, but what are the chances? And it was in like Arizona, which I don't even know if they have walleyes. I think it was some, snowbirder from Minnesota who missed the walleye fishing, probably missed the ice fishing. I don't miss ice fishing. My dad used to take us ice fishing. I shiver just thinking about it. Anyway, and so it doesn't work. You can look at these, in my book. Here's my book. Still available on Amazon, Spinning Straw into Gold. I explain that these customers love you, or in this case, are hopelessly addicted. But, that doesn't mean you can addict all of these people. They managed to avoid it, right? They bought your stuff. They have some interest, but not much. And this is the way it always looks. And so if you focus on the properties of those that are hopelessly addicted to your product, and try to addict more people, you will go to prison, right? And you'll go broke because it won't work. You got to figure out how to support the low end, because it doesn't generate a lot of business. The bottom 60% of your file is one-time buyers. David and I are going to work on this a little more because we've been working on. He's doing a chapter on RFM, and so I sent him a few of my videos. My very most popular videos, I have a series of 3, a playlist, if you go over to my video channel, and they're about the most popular videos on RFM, and it includes quite a bit of information on scoring. But it gets at this thing, and so bravo for this. And he's got another article. He's got a full-length article, Samuel Breeley. Okay, but this was done by, Mike Taylor, I think. No, myself. I don't know. Yeah, maybe it's probably Samuel and Mike Taylor. So here's a link to the full article. It'll be up on wdma.org. If you are a subscriber, which is free, go over there, wdma.org. It's easy to remember. And just hit the join button and sign up. And you'll also get information when we're having a meetup. We're having a meetup on Tuesday. And we've got a lot of really great people. We've even got some USPS people coming. I wish I could get more USPS people. And I have some regular viewers. So if you're a USPS person, be sure to drop in, because we always learn stuff from the USPS. You've always got specials, and you've got different things, information, and I really like when you come. Anyway, so what this says, summing up here, is no matter what you do, the majority of your buyers will be occasional, right? They will not be buying frequently, and therefore it's important to ensure that you are advertising and marketing not just to the easy wins, but that you expand the pool of possible customers as broadly as you can afford to. Unlike Arthur Middleton Hughes, bless his soul, who basically showed how you can segment your way to shrink your company to greatness. And many consultants have done that. My very first machine learning project was with Cabela's. And Dick Cabela, I showed Dick Cabela how he was wasting money mailing too many catalogs. I was such a dope in those days. But anyway, I said, you could cut 20% of your mailing and only lose 5% of your profitability. He said, I don't want to lose 5% of my profitability. I'd have to lay people off. He said, tell me how to grow. Don't tell me how to shrink. Yeah, bless his heart. What a genius. Okay. So businesses must start small, vacuuming up those easy wins with good segmentation that finds them using advertising and all other tools at a marketer's disposal, from pricing to distribution. But as a business grows and expands, it has no choice but to expand its target to a broader market. And those businesses that are are big must continue to do the same in the knowledge that most of their customers are light buyers. Most of their customers are light buyers, and no amount of clever consultancy bingo is going to change these outcomes. What genius here. Okay. So what you really want to know is what's the best offer to the most people, and how do you do that? With testing power. Thank you, Craig Huey. And he talks about a magalog that he did. It's an infomercial in print. I've done a few of those and had some really banner success. So he tested cover A. 97% of men suffer from some type of prostate problem, but these amazing nutrients could help you join the 3% who live worry-free. That sounds kind of most people don't know how to handle percentages, so you got to really watch out for using percentages in your headline. That's a tip from me. That's a tip that goes back to the Burger King 1/3 burger, 1/3 pounder. And everybody thought the McDonald's quarter pounder was bigger because 4 is bigger than 3. People don't know fractions either. Okay, so this is the other test headline. Breakthrough prostate remedy taps decades of scientific research, brings relief in as little as 30 days. Everybody wants a quick hit. Breakthrough sounds great. Scientific research sounds credible. The cover B was a 79% higher response rate. Okay, 79%. And so I just wanted to show you one of my test covers because, it's fun. And so here's my test cover. I was giving out this catalog. We had big clients like Pontiac and 3M and J.I. Case, and I think Avon is on there someplace, Ford Motor Company, right? Caterpillar Tractor. And we were trying to make the imprinted merchandise industry look more credible. But I'd hand it out to my friends who owned companies, and I said, here, you might be interested in this. And they'd say, why would I want a Pontiac hat? I said, no. You can put your company name on all this stuff. Oh, yeah, we buy that stuff. Okay, here, let me see that. That's how it went. I probably had at least a dozen of those conversations, but it might have been 40. So I said to the creative director, I said to the first creative director, this is what I want to do. I want to put your logo on these logos. And he said, no, I shouldn't have told you the punchline because I was going to show you the cover and show you how indescript or how difficult it is to even see what we were testing. It just shows you the power of good creative. But anyway, he wouldn't do it, so I actually fired him. He's the only person I ever just said, you are fired. You're not going to run the test. So I got a new creative director, and so this is what we did. Let's see if I can get this to click. Yeah, here it is. Okay. So here's that original cover. These are the two covers we tested. We only printed 600,000 of them, 300,000 of each. I find out that printers don't do long runs anymore. Most of the printers I talk to, if they get 30,000, it's a big run. But that's not how we did it. We started this catalog, launched it with 250,000. But anyway, so we did a 600,000 piece test, 300,000 of each. And you can see, if you squint your eyes, if you don't really look close, you can't even see. If you're watching this on your phone, you can't see a difference. It looks like two identical covers. And these are the actual covers. These are actual magazines. This is not a mock-up of any sort. Okay, there's one catalog sitting next to the other, and I took a picture of them. See how they overlap and everything. Okay, so, and what do you see? Almost nothing, but your imprint here. This one says custom embroidery. This one says your logo with a little, I think they call it it's something like they call it a dildo, but it doesn't mean the same thing. And maybe that's the wrong term. Some graphic designer. It's a bug, they put a bug on there. Your imprint here on the coffee mug instead of the tractor. Your imprint on this Swiss Army knife versus Caterpillar tractor. Your imprint here. They could have said your name here someplace, but they didn't say that too much. Anyway, I think it does on some of them. Okay, so how did that do? 40%. This one won by 40%. Not only that, but we had a theory that we were testing. We had a theory that people didn't understand this cover. We didn't change one price. We didn't change one word of copy between the two. We did a perfect A/B split across 600,000 names. So this is the kind of thing that teaches you how to expand your market. What was that test worth? Millions. Millions in that mailing? Probably not quite, but certainly millions by the time because we just kept doing it. And we grew from 0 to 10 million in 3 years, which is not bad in B2B for a little company. We doubled the size of the company in 3 years. Have a great day. Like and share. Your friends will know you're smart if you share this. And I did want to, Dave, I did want to mention that we're working on that frequency modeling stuff, and he has a nonprofit that's got way more multi-buyers than I'm used to seeing. So we have to dig into that a little more. I always love seeing more real data. This is all built on real data. That's the difference between this show and all the other marketing shows you might see.